And as representative and myself, been working on trying to get a contract signed here, and we were able to do that this morning, and we wanted to share the news with our fans today before David boarded that plane to go to Phoenix. First of all, I'd like to thank David and his wife Kelly. As an unrestricted free agent, David had many opportunities, and but right from the beginning, he said he wanted to be a St. Louis Blue. He wanted to finish what he had started here. He's been here through some lean times, and we're heading into the areas where we want to get to, and David's a huge part of that. Not only on the ice, but in our community. He represents the St. Louis Blues 24/7, 365, the way we want to be represented. It's an exciting time for a manager to make that type of commitment with someone that you trust, someone that you know the team can grow with, someone you know that is going to represent and teach our young players what it means to be a pro and what it means to get to the other side into the promised land. But these deals aren't done in a vacuum. Without the commitment of Dave Checketts, John Davidson, and the entire ownership group here, you can't make a commitment like this. And so from Mr. Checketts, Mr. Davidson, Mr. McCarthy, and the rest of the Blues management, we're very excited today. It's a great day for the St. Louis Blues now and for the next 5 years. Any questions on that?
How important was it to get this done early and not let it drag into the second half of the season? Or was it important to get it?
Well, it was important. Obviously, we had talked about this at our exit meeting, David and I, last year. I said that he's a priority for the St. Louis Blues. He's born and raised a Blue. He's drafted by us. He's played here. He understands what it means. But more importantly, he understands and accepts where we're trying to go to. And to get that done, we said that if we could get it done before the season started, that would be our goal. We talked about it. We were moving the goalposts closer and closer together, but it took a little bit of time into the season to get it done. But I was very comfortable that if the deal didn't get done, knowing David's character and his professionalism, he was going to be able to deal with this and continue to play at a high level. So I know now moving forward, we don't have to worry about what we're going to do with David Backes in the second half of the season. He's a Blue for the next 5 years, and I'm hoping much past that to end his career here. But now I think this represents something to hopefully it just represents something to all the players here, that there's a commitment from the ownership group. We believe that the path that John Davidson and Larry Plow have taken this team the last 5 years, that we're going to draft well, then we're going to develop well, and then we're going to win as a group. And I think this is the first step in taking this to the next level.
Have some of these contracts, such as Kovalchuk's, and have they made it more difficult for somebody like you to get this done?
Well, certainly the landscape has changed in the new CBA. I had a chuckle with David's representative. He's not looking for a long-term deal, just 5 or 6 years. Before that used to be an eternity. Now it's not. It wasn't 17 to 20. So that was a good sign. But no, I think we're all learning how the new CBA works. We're all learning the nuances of the new CBA, and the salary. It's a salary cap world now, and we have to deal with it. But for the Blues, we deal on a budget. We believe that we're going to be as competitive as any team with the budget that we're given. We believe that the ownership has given us all the tools necessary to compete, and not only to compete, but there's desires to be a championship team here. And I'm very fortunate as a manager. I'm coming in right at the right time. There's a lot of good young players here, and I just my job just not to screw it up. And so I'm excited about that. But this is a huge step, and it's a great commitment.
The other obvious question maybe is, did it make it more difficult given the situation right now with the main investors and that whole situation?
No, Mr. Checketts, Mr. McCarthy, and the entire group were very good. We have an understanding of what our payroll is and what our payroll is going to be. But with that being said, they said you have to take care of the cornerstones, and David Backes is a cornerstone player. And they were up front saying you have to work within the parameters of a budget. But with that being said, do what you can do to get David signed. And I know that when I informed John today that the deal was complete, And he talked to Mr. Checketts. It was a great day for Dave Checketts because Dave Checketts is probably one of the biggest fans of David Backus for all the right reasons, for what he does on the ice, but more importantly for what he does in our community.
How important was it to go to meet their request in terms of years to get the dollars to where you guys felt comfortable?
Well, I think when you're talking to an unrestricted free agent, you have to get the parameters of what's important to the player. When you're dealing with a restricted free agent, it's a whole different set of guidelines. You have much more control of the situation. But when I asked David, first and foremost, did he want to be a St. Louis Blue, and the answer was yes to that. And then everything else to me was downhill from there. Once I knew he wanted to be a Blue, I knew that we were going to do everything we could do to get it done. And by David saying he wanted to be a Blue, I knew he was going to do everything to make sure it got done. So at David's age, I think he's just entering the prime of his career right now. I think a hockey player from 25 to 31 is going to play at their best, and he's right in that area now. And I think that what we're going to see on the ice, off the ice, is going to represent where we want to go to. And with a contract like David's, I think it's important to note, you're not going to just look at the stat sheet, the goals, assists, and points, and say this is he had a good night or a bad night. He brings so many other intangibles to our team. He brings so many other intangibles to the game on a nightly basis. Face-offs, physical play, leadership. That's why this contract was important. It wasn't for as much as we need the goals and the assists. It was more the entire package that excited us.